Hello friends, in this lecture we will learn about database connections. We will learn in this how to connect VB.NET with MS Access. So here I have taken my VB.NET project. So this is the project I have opened. This is my first form and this is my demo connection is the name of the project. Here I have trying to connect the database which I have created using MS Access. So I have one folder on the desktop. Inside this folder I have one database. The name of the database is college database, and in this database I have one student table. The structure of the student table is it contains 5 fields: student ID, student name, age, mobile, nationality, and this is a data type. And this student table contains 3 records. I am assuming that you know how to create the database using MS Access. If you don't know how to create database using MS Access, you can watch my video lecture on YouTube. You can simply type on the Google Ashish Seth plus creating database using MS Access and you will get the YouTube link. So we'll go to the project. Now here what I do is, first I will on my form I will take the data grid view. So on this toolbox you go to the data section. So in the data section you will find data grid view. So I'll take this control and I will put this control on my form. The second thing we need is the data source. Data source is required to establish a connection with the front end and the back end. Here we are setting the connection using the wizard. In the next series we will also learn how to establish the connection using the codes. So to get the data source, we go to the project. Here we select add new data source. When you click on it, you will get this option database. Select this, click on next. Then you get data set. Now click on it, data set. Next. Now here we will see that there is no connection here. So we will establish the connection. Click on new connection. So here you will get the data source. Here we are using the MS Access. So the data source will be the Access database file OLEDB. Now here we have to specify our database location. So we go to the browse and then we go to the desktop, and the desktop we have the demo access folder. Inside this folder I have this database college.accdb. Now select this database and click open. So here we don't need any user and password. So here now we can check that the connection is established or not. When you click on it, it shows test connection succeeded. Means we have successfully established the connection. Click on OK. For connection establishment, basically we have to provide two things: the provider and the data source. In the provider, we have to specify the technology which we are using for the connection. For example, here we are using the MS Access, or we may use Oracle, or we may use SQL Server. And the second thing is data source. In the data source, we specify the location of our database. So if you want to see, you just click on this plus icon. You will see the provider is the OLEDB.12.0 and the data source is the path of your database. So in my case, it is on the desktop demo access folder and the database is college.accdb. Now click on next. Now this is very important. It says that the connection you selected uses a local data file that is not in the current project. So basically what it says is we are trying to connect a database which is actually not in this working directory of this project. So if I click on yes, what it does is it will create a copy of our database and it will keep the copy inside the working directory of this project. So every time when we access our database, it is actually accessing the local copy. So I click on yes and then I click on next. So you can see here the tables and view. When you click on tables, you can see that your student table is visible here. Also we will get one data set. This is the name of the data set. Now what is data set actually? Data set is basically a space in the cache memory where the actual data from the database is fetched. So in each manipulation with your database, we are not actually doing the manipulation with your actual database, but with the copy of a database which is kept in the data set. So here the data set which we have created is the college data set. You can also change the name. So here I am keeping the same and finish. So after doing this, we can easily see here that we have this database college.accdb and we also have a data set. Now data set, I told you, this is the part, or this is something which is kept in the cache memory which contains the copy of your actual database. Now just click on this data grid view. So you get the properties of data grid view. Now we have to connect this data grid view with the database. So we will go to the properties and we search for the database. So here we look for the data source property. So here if you see, this is data source property shown here. Now click here and we have to search for our database. So go to other data source, then project data source. Here you find your college data set. This data set is actually holding your table. So you just click on it and you will find the student table. Just click on it and that is done. So we can see here that your form which contains the data grid view is actually linked with your database. Now you can see the structure of your table which contains the 5 fields. Now let us run this program and see the output. So now we can see here that we are successful in connecting the database with our form. So all the records are visible to us. So in the next lecture we will see how the operations can be performed with this connectivity. Means how we can add the records, how we can delete the records, modify the records, update the records. That we can see in the next lecture. Thank you very much.